In this episode, I talk with Justin Booher about his work as culinary director for Amor Healing Kitchen in South Carolina, where volunteer teen chefs and kitchen mentors create healing meals for people facing a cancer diagnosis. We also talk about sensory dinner experiences and foraging for wild edible plants and flowers. Welcome to the Flower Lounge, a place for conversations with wildly creative people and a little plant-loving wisdom to help you experience life in full bloom. I'm Katie Hess, flower alchemist and founder of LOTUSWEI, and I believe in a world where we're all living at our personal edge. Welcome to the Flowerlounge Podcast. I am with Justin Booher, who studied sustainability and design at Arizona State University, where he fell in love with the food and beverage industry. And we had an amazing creative conversation. When was that? A year or so ago, over some food. When was that?
Yeah, a year and a half ago.
Okay, so we haven't really got into it since then. So I'm really excited to talk to you. So let me just tell you a little bit about Justin. He fell in love with the food and beverage industry, which led him to fall in love with natural food, farm relations, and the effects that food has on our body and our communities. He volunteered in kitchens and farms in Croatia, Italy, Switzerland, and Spain, which deepened his desire to promote natural food choices as a central part of a healthy life. He recently moved back to his home state of South Carolina, which you will hear in his beautiful accent. He moved away from us in Phoenix, and he's now manager at Edmonds. How do you say that? Oast. Whoa, what a cool name. Restaurant. Yeah. And he founded Amor. He's really excited to be part of something special where he can use all his talents. He's nutrient driven. He loves local food and he uses in-season ingredients whenever possible. And some cool fun facts about him. He lives in a warehouse space that he holds events in. He does small variety style storytelling dinners and intimate shows, which he spoke into existence when he lived in Arizona. And I heard from Taylor about a dinner party that you did centered around Prince, and you had pop rocks and a drink, which sounds amazing. His other passion project is foraging the maritime forest barrier islands of the Carolina coast. How cool is that? Thank you for being with us, Justin.
Thank you for having me.
So since you love plants, you'll love this little exercise we start out with where you close your eyes and go back to a time in your childhood when you played around plants or flowers or trees and see if you can identify a favorite and just noticing what you were up to at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could describe the personality of whatever that favorite is in 3 words, reflect on what those 3 words would be. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes and tell us what you were up to, who you were with, what your favorite was, and the 3 words you would use to describe your favorite.
Okay, so definitely honeysuckle. Beautiful, vining flower that grows all over the place where I grew up in northern South Carolina, upstate, and also pretty much all over the southeast. But in my memory, I'm always with my sister. When being very young and we looked like pretty rural, and like going out into the edge of the woods, or when we'd be out like just hanging around, doing whatever we were doing in the woods, which we spent a lot of our childhood doing.
So lucky.
Finding these honeysuckle vines, which are very easy to find. Usually, a patch of light shining into an open area, and there they would be blooming. And you can take and pull the stigma out, and then it'll have a little teeny drop of honey, and you can get that little bit of honey, and it's real sweet. So like how much time we spent just pulling that out and getting these teeny tiny drops of honey. Just so much work, but just so nice of a little sweetness. Pretty cool.
And how would you describe the honeysuckle's personality in 3 words?
For some reason, persevering came up.
Mm-hmm.
Just how it vines and grows all over the place. I just went out to the Maritime Forest the other day after a freeze here. It's been so cold, and I was just kicking it, just growing all over the place. And I was like, wow, it's the only flower that's kind of like blooming right now there. Also sweet. The smell of it is very sweet. The taste, when you see it, it's a very soft, whatever color type of honeysuckle it is very soft and sweet. Third word. Persevering, soft, sweet. That's one word, soft, sweet.
Okay.
And I don't know. Okay, we'll do soft and sweet as two different.
I got one for you. It's so good.
Okay, go for it.
Typically, how you would describe the personality of your childhood favorite would describe the way in which you bring your greatest gifts into the world. So,
curious.
Are persevering and sweet, soft, and you make up your own rules because you just turned 2 words into one, and you were like, "That's one word." So.
Okay, I was definitely, as soon as you said that, I was like, okay, curious. Like I said earlier, we weren't doing anything. We were just meandering around looking for stuff, and they're being curious about what's going on and finding these flowers and eating them.
That's totally you. Yes, and I love how you make up your own rules. So let's just jump into the ways in which you make up your own rules in your life right now, like the kinds of situations you've attracted to you, like life, working, what's most important to you, like what are the ways that you're kind of making your own way?
Oh, like when you have conversations with people and you're like, I really wish I could do this, or I could do that, or I want to do this or that. And usually your very first thing you talk about is like all the reasons why you can't. Like, I can't do that. That will be hard. Like, that's too much. I'd have to give up a lot. But I like to just say, like, what can I do to just like make it happen, I guess? Or honestly, I think it's more of just opening up and being like, okay, like if it's going to happen, like I'll just let it happen. I'm just going to step on through that door and see if I can find it or let it find me.
And like concretely, like you live in a warehouse.
I was going to say concrete. I live in a concrete warehouse.
You live in a warehouse and you have this new healing kitchen project, and you went back to South Carolina and you're foraging. I mean, just like give the listeners, because I know about you and how freaking mind-blowingly creative you are, but they don't yet. So like just give us like a little taste of some of the crazy stuff you're up to, which to you may not seem crazy, but it's beautiful.
Okay, so kind of starting with like that same just speaking things into existence. I had no really big plan to move back to South Carolina. I was living in Phoenix. I love Phoenix. I had a lot of cool things kind of blooming there. But I really felt drawn to come back to South Carolina. And in doing so, I'd always been talking about like so many friends about this warehouse idea. Like, I want a warehouse where I can like turn it into my own living space. I don't have to have like anything pre-made inside of it. And you can like see the whole thing behind me. This was just a blank room. And for me to just kind of be able to do whatever I wanted, really. But within means, like I don't have like a bunch of, it's not like I have a lot of money to buy a warehouse. I found this place that someone let me turn into what I want. I can do like, do dinner parties in here with like 10, 15 people for friends' birthdays or for fundraising or for, like you said earlier, a storytelling party, which is more like potluck, or it's more for just other people to come together in, also giving them that same kind of space. And I think a space like this being very freeing is a great place for other people to see that they can also be creative. some other stuff in Charleston. I got to work at this amazing restaurant called Edmund's Oast, which is very cool in that it's a little bit different. Its specialty is having all the specialties kind of thing, like amazing people in all these different areas of restaurant, food and bev of all sides. And then in doing so, I just started thinking and wanting to, like, I really want to be like volunteering with kids. Like, I would just say that. I was like, I just want to like work with kids. I miss, I'm getting like, I'm not getting old, but I'm getting older. I'm like, I miss childlike wonder, curiosity, like all of that. I don't want to be in touch with that. And then one day I went to this yoga class and found this sticker. It was for this organization called Amor Healing Kitchen that a very dear friend, the founder of it, Maria, started. And like that day, she had put the sticker down. She was in the class with me, and I walked out and I was like, "What is this all about? I want to know what this is. This looks cool." And then now I have like that's like one of my priority right now is working with Amor, which we have teen volunteers come in to a kitchen on a farm out on the island. I mean, it's not out. It's like there's just a lot of rivers and bridges and marshlands. So island, it's not like out on the in the ocean or anything, but John's Island at this place called Sweetgrass Gardens.
Oh my God, what a beautiful name.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. The little teeny tiny kitchen there, and all these teen volunteers come in with other adult mentors, and we make all vegan food that's all locally sourced and donated and stuff. And then on the next day, we have all of these meals that we make delivered to people going through cancer treatment. Wow. So it's just like all the best feelings in one. It's awesome.
How do you reach the people who are being treated for cancer? Is it like you're going to their homes, or they're in hospital, or
to their homes? Wow. So the majority of all our clients are either like a group of friends will get together and purchase. We usually do like a 3-month package, or you can do monthly, or whatever. It's pretty flexible, no rules. At least I like to not have all the rules, but sometimes you have to have rules. But they get delivered to their house, and that's like one of the coolest parts about this organization in particular is that it's not just random people coming to volunteer every day. We have the same kids for like this whole period, and the same adult mentors and the same delivery drivers. So you have this like huge relationship building built into it also.
How long did the kids volunteer for? Like, is it?
They usually do it, we set it up for like a semester of school, but 2 weeks after I found it was the very first day. Like, that was that fresh and new when I came in to help. And there's probably like a solid like 10 kids that have just been coming back and re-signing up. Most everybody just has stayed, and like we're almost to a year right now.
Whoa.
And have this whole core of people that are like, I mean, it's just like a serious operation. We're making tons of stuff, and the amazing part is seeing them grow from some never cooking anything to now I can just like hand them a recipe. They're teaching the new adult mentors. They're the ones that are in charge.
Wow, that is amazing. And what are some of the kinds of things that they're making?
So everything is extremely nutrient driven, and everything's also vegan. So a lot of huge variety of vegetables, as well as a huge variety of grains. Everything has to be, really high in protein, really high in phytonutrients, and all the good stuff, and also leaving out, number one, like any sugar, any processed ingredients. So it is very different than especially for them cooking. A lot of them aren't vegan. We're not trying to turn people into vegans or anything. It's just to be this big push of that into these people's lives. So they are making typically in that style some type of like traditional dish, because you have to make that connection for them. Otherwise, like, well, I just made this big bowl of stuff. So like, no, we make like pasta and meatballs. These are going to be lentil meatballs. We hand make all our own pasta with like a pasta machine. So they get to do fresh pasta.
Wow.
And then do have like some kind of crazy nutrient enriched sauce that is just like a marinara, but it's really got all this other stuff in it. So how to take like a normal food dish, like spaghetti and meatballs, and turn it into something that is like extremely good for you.
Wow. And how many people are you, like, how often are you meeting up to do this? And how many people are receiving meals?
We meet up once a week, every Thursday. And we have like 2 shifts, a morning and a night. The morning shift is a couple of homeschool kids. And they are kind of like the staple rock stars. Wow. Their names are Jasper and Avery. And then we had one that she's been coming every single week since we started, but she just left to start pursuing theater, which is really amazing, Sophie. But they come every single week. Wow. And they put in like probably like 1,000 hours of volunteering. It's just absolutely crazy. They're like 14 and 15. Wow. They probably made like 1,000 meals or more. So they're like, humbling. They're amazing. The people in the evening are all more like public school kids or art school or, whoever from all over the place, of all different walks of life, from all kinds of sorts. So yeah, they're all like, gosh, I could just like think about how cool it is to work with them and develop relationships with them.
Wow. And so they come out of there knowing how to cook tons of veggies and fruits and nutrient dense foods.
Absolutely. That, and we're also, a dish. I try to write into like recipes, it's personal. I'm writing all the recipes, so I can write whatever I would like, and including in it like mint, and it's like how much mint, where, and it's just like go outside to this area of the garden, pick up a couple handfuls of mint and bring it back inside. And like, that's the directions for,
so good.
For this. Or like, make sure you wash it off so there's no spiders. Because like the first time this one group went outside and they brought in all these, all these greens, and they're holding them up like, check these out. And we look at them and they got a bunch of spiders. I'm like, yeah, that's real food. Yeah, that's real food. That's fresh. That's real. You just never see that because you get it from the grocery store usually, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right.
Wow, that's amazing. And how many? So you have like regular delivery people, and how many people get meals each week?
It varies, but we probably consistently do between. It can be anywhere from 10 to 20. Mm-hmm. We do 10 different recipes per person on a 3. We usually do like 3 entrees, 3 sides.
No way.
Salad.
Oh my God. So these
snack and a dessert.
These folks are not just getting like a plate of food. They're getting like a huge box of stuff.
Oh, it's like huge abundance. Beautiful.
It's like freaking life-changing for one person, much less.
Oh yeah. 20. And most of our clients, so we cater to the one person going through whatever, help. Everyone is going through chemo right now. That's a pretty big deal. And we'll cater to them, and then also whoever their caretaker is. But, honestly, like the majority of people are all like single, living alone, working, and then doing this. So that's like the people that we're looking to help out the most. Mm-hmm. That's like insane to be doing this radiation and stuff, and then also working, and then you can't get better like that, right?
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. And so, like, give an example, like, what are you writing for this week, or what did you write up for last week?
Oh, let's see. This week, I don't know what our donations are. We have like in doing this, we've got like such amazing donations that it's really no telling like what we'll make until we get those.
Uh-huh.
We might cause some of the farmers that we work with do such like off the wall kind of crazy things, because we're actually in kind of like a tropical, subtropical environment. And one of our farmers, John, this farm called Spade and Clover, he really focuses on stuff like that. So he's growing like all these different zeduaries, which are like yellow turmeric, black turmeric, green galangal, like all of these different root rhizomes that are amazing. So we like use all of those in crazy sauces all the time. So a lot of ethnic food. So we'll do like a curry, but it's also like, how can we put this in every single dish?
Right.
Like a puzzle sometimes.
Wow.
Especially like the black turmeric. Have you ever had black turmeric? It's called kali haldi.
I've never heard of it.
It's like, out of all of the different zeduaries and turmeric type root rhizomes, it's got like the highest level of curcumin and camphor and like all these different oils and whatnot. And if you try like a teeny tiny piece, it feels like it just cleanses your whole head, not just your mouth, like your whole head. But it is like huge and like really good for you and everything that it has. But
wow,
those kinds of things are what drive the recipes. Well, probably this week we'll probably do like an orchietti pasta, which is like a little ear shaped. You press it with your thumb. It's like a little ear shaped pasta with a cream sauce, but we'll make the cream sauce out of like a cannellini beans, probably some type of like white root vegetable, maybe turnip, all these different things, and then a bunch of hardy greens. So probably, I know we have a lot of turnip greens left over from last week, so we'll probably use those and like turn them into chips or something like that, little crispies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like you look at it and it's like, oh, this is like an Italian white sauce dish with like some greens, but really it's like all of this stuff.
Supercharged.
And supercharging it. It's fun. I like it a lot. It's kind of like making this traditional thing extremely functional.
It's super creative for you, because I know how your mind works, and you are like capable of coming up with crazy, amazing ideas on the fly. And so every week it's like this whole new challenge, right? It's not like you're making the same thing over and over. You're just like, whoa, how can I like stretch my crazy wild mind to wrap around the materials you have?
Yeah, it is. It's like last week we had a pasta dish, and then we've got like an old school, like little hand roller pasta, which is super fun to use because it's almost like working with like a Play-Doh machine. Like making a Play-Doh ball and then, putting it through and rolling it and making these around the noodles. But something on it broke and I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are we going to do? But, you can't really like show the fear or the anxiousness of not knowing when you're around all these other people that really don't know. And I'm like, okay, we're going to make noodles out of potatoes. And we're just like spiralizing sweet potatoes, making noodles. So yeah, you just got to roll with the punches and like figure it out. That's definitely like our motto is no matter what, we can make it good. It'll be okay.
Oh my God. That's so brilliant.
Yeah, using all the other creativity. And in the past, like you were mentioning dinner parties, I was throwing a bunch of started kind of a supper club, more based on experiencing the food, kind of. A lot of foraging, even in Arizona desert, there's tons of cool stuff to use in food there as well. People are like, oh, the desert, there's nothing out there. It's like, dude, you have no idea. There's so much stuff. So much stuff. Give us an example of a treasure in the desert out here that you've used that people would be surprised about. Yeah, the first thing I always think about is like chamomile, like desert chamomile that grows pretty regularly, like even in city areas. You really, but like don't be picking and using that. But the ones like out in the desert, that are just, you just see like one plant of it, are so fragrant, and they carry such really cool, I use them in Arizona in dinners for making like a vermouth out of all desert botanicals, including, gosh, what's the plant? Oh my goodness, I forgot the name of it. The plant that smells like rain.
Chaparral.
Yeah. Creosote. So I made creosote vermouth, but chamomile was really the thing that was in it that balanced how bitter creosote can be. But you smell this vermouth and people are just like, oh my gosh, it smells like the monsoon season. I feel like I'm back here, like my childhood or something. I love doing that with stuff. Like, how can you pull memories? Called like smelling this food experience. When soon you smell it and see it, that like pulls back all these memories really quick. But yeah, creosote and chamomile would probably be my favorite for herbal stuff.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the themes that you've really enjoyed throwing dinner parties around, whether themes or cool food experiences that have just stayed with you as like, wow, that was such a cool thing that we did or that you made?
There's two that are, there's three. They're all so cool. They're all so fun. Cosma, the first thing I always do is immediately, who else can like I incorporate? Like I'm more of like a bring these other people and like showcase them and use like my creativity to help them. So probably the one that lent the most creativity to me was doing one based on one of my friend's art, which was really fun. It's kind of like spooky, creepy art drawings, and I use like a lot of charcoal dye because I did all these dinners vegan also. It's just I don't eat vegan all the time, but I am like a big proponent of pushing that into people's lives without them realizing it, which is fun. It's like another piece of the puzzle kind of deal. Yeah, more plants. Like you probably, you need it. That one was fun. But the two biggest ones I'd say definitely are in Arizona. I did one with Prince. That was just kind of like a one-off, like, let's do a Prince themed dinner party. And that was like so fun.
Did you bring in Purple Rain?
Yes.
How'd you do that?
Absolutely. Purple Rain. We had 5 courses, 5 songs. Prince happens to sing about food a lot. Prince is also a vegan, if you didn't know. So 5 songs, each one was like the dish. The very first one was raspberry beret, but it was raspberry puree. And Purple Rain was probably one of the coolest dishes I ever made in terms of like bringing in all kinds of sensory type stuff. It actually used the creosote vermouth. So you have like the smell, that kind of like essence. The spirit that I used in it was a Del Bach mesquite smoked whiskey, which is unaged. So it didn't have like all of this like oaky kind of stuff, but it had mesquite as the like smell of it. So another kind of desert thing. The sweetener or kind of the balancer on that was prickly pear juice. So it was just amazing. If you ever have prickly pear juice, it's like the most beautiful pink purple color you've ever seen. It's like radiating. And we did like a cloud foam on top and then put lavender buds all over it. So you got like visual of Purple Rain, and then on the rim, purple pop rocks. And then
so great.
You tell everybody to close their eyes and you play Purple Rain. And then when that one moment is like hits that note, Purple Rain, everybody drinks from their pop rock side and it sounds like rain in your head.
Oh my God.
So it's like silly and fun, but it's also really, really cool to see how many senses you can touch with one little moment. That was fun. The other was I did a dinner here. Probably the hardest one I've ever done was here for Amor as like a fundraising dinner. And that's like kind of my current project idea is to do dinners as fundraisers for myself, to have this other creative outlet, because I realize that's important,
Mm-hmm.
but I did a dinner on 100% forage food from Charleston, but kind of tied in foraging within your community. So people using other people's products also, but I was able to do like a full, I didn't think I was going to be able to, but full like 5-course meal with 100% like I foraged probably 4 days before all over the maritime beaches and our maritime forests on the barrier islands, as well as like within the city and all around Charleston area, which was pretty cool. That was definitely a learning experience for sure.
Did you learn new things to pick and not to pick?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like Jasmine grows all over the place here. It's like a big deal around the south of Broad is like where all the Rainbow Row and beautiful old mansions and stuff. Everybody's like, oh, it just smells like jasmine there. And I'm like, okay, smells jasmine. I'm going to use that as part of it. But I want to say I've had like some type of jasmine that you can eat. But this one is like the very poisonous kind.
Yeah, I was going to say most jasmine's edible.
This one is
a
certain kind that is, it might not actually be like a real jasmine or something. That's called Confederate jasmine, I think. Even still, I'm still like rubbing it on my lips to check it out. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really feel right. But I still like.
Did you eat some?
I was like, okay, that's bad. I didn't eat it, but I did swallow my spit, and it like I started having a reaction. That's the only time I've ever had something like that happen. And I was like, oh, gosh, like, oh man, don't ever try that again.
Oh my goodness. Whoa, wow.
But no, I didn't use it.
Clearly.
Learning about different types of lilies. Some you can, some you can't. Same kind of deal. But there's just the more I learned most about flowers here are just crazy, especially at late summer, autumn kind of time around the beaches. So the very first dish I did like a communal dish all the way down the middle of the table was just this huge flower salad. And it was like 20 different types of edible flowers with like really cool, like simple vinaigrette. And it was like people picking, like, I grow this in my yard. I can eat this. I'm like, yeah, that's just that's beautiful. You can try that.
Wow.
So that was like my favorite thing coming out of that was how much I learned about flowers.
Wow. That's amazing. And then you just immediately shared it with your community as a fundraiser. Yeah. So phenomenal. I can't wait to work on a project with you. I think we should have a few of us. We've been doing a lot more food and beverage stuff. I don't know if Taylor told you. We've been having.
Yeah, she did. She did mention it to me.
Yeah, super intimate. We've got next weekend a speakeasy where we have this guy, Tomas Stanton, coming in to lead us through like a writing and spoken word workshop. And
that's so cool.
Pairing it with drinks to make speaking your truth easier. But I would love to come. I'd love South Carolina. So I think we should put something on the calendar sometime where a few of us come out and visit you and we do something.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Just make sure you come during that like late summer, autumn time.
Like August, September?
Yeah, something like that. Cause it's like, there's just so much blooming around that time here. It's beautiful.
Wow.
There's this one forest right outside. I actually didn't go at all last summer because I was just like obsessed with maritime forests. I'm still am. I'm like, there are these crazy cool little biomes like right on the beach. It's like beach, dunes, and then maritime forest.
Wow.
And they have within like, it'll completely change from 20 yards of what's growing just because it's so close to this different environment. But this forest called Francis Marion Forest is like this huge area for orchids and flower hunters. And there's like over 50, 60 different type of orchids that bloom like at that time.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I got to tell you about this. It's crazy. Pretty neat though.
Okay. Let's make it a thing. Let's make it real.
Yeah. We just
Ask,
talked about it. We speak it out.
like, speak it into existence this autumn. Orchid hunting and food flower bonanza
Flower bonanza.
party. You know, it'd be amazing. Ask your farmer friend John if he's worked with rainbow turmeric at all. It's this, like, have you seen it? It's like this, like the flower looks like a rainbow. It's insane. It's so pretty. I mean, I don't know how the actual rhizome measures in terms of like superfood value, but it's insane. It's beautiful.
If it's super pretty, then it's gotta be doing something really good, you know? Yeah.
I like your theory.
Yeah.
Well, I know we both have to jump off and like jump into our crazy lives. I am so grateful you would take the time to spend chatting with us about all the amazing projects you've got going. Can't wait to come and visit you and maybe feature some of what you're up to on video with Taylor and share it with our community because it's fascinating, and I cannot even imagine the positive benefit that you are spreading. It's phenomenal. So thank you for that.
Yeah, that'll be such a cool pairing up with y'all doing the same.
So if folks want to get to know more of what you're up to, can you like share some websites or Instagram handles where we can find more?
So mostly I'll just go check out Amor Healing Kitchen.
.com.
Website's amorhealingkitchen.org, and Instagram is Amor Healing Kitchen.
So AMOR, like love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AMOR, not with the E. AMOR Healing Kitchen.org. And just search that up and you'll find it.
Okay. Sounds great. Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to The Flower Lounge. I'm Katie Hess, and we'll be releasing a new podcast every Wednesday. If you like what you heard, or you know someone who might be touched by our conversation, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe. To find out what your favorite flowers mean about you, take the quiz at LOTUSWEI.com.